Alright.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I know. Things are getting tough, can't get the top off the bottom of the barrel. Wide open road to my future now. Looking fucking narrow. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. We get caught inside, just like as if I'm not gonna change my mind. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. What you gonna do with yourself, boy? Better make up your mind. What you gonna do with yourself, boy? Running out of time. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. That's fine.
Hi, I'm Kevo, and I'm here with TJ. I say it wrong every time, man. Tell me.
FRECH. Or TJ FADEHAWK, whichever.
TJ FRECH from the Whatleys.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy? We
Good,
just did the
buddy.
song "Knowledge" by Operation Ivy, and it was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I have a couple questions to ask you.
Okay.
In the lyrics to History Lesson, it says how you guys played with many bands side to Epitaph. Who's
Yeah.
the most rowdy band you guys played with?
The most rowdy band we played with, as far as like ones that were signed to Epitaph or just rowdiest
One
bands.
of the big, like the bigger bands. You guys played with a lot of big bands. Like, telling me a crazy story or something.
Crazy story about a bigger band. I mean, there's Punchline. We played with them, and that was an interesting show where, throughout the night, we started at the show, and it was packed for this little. It was the 797 Lounge, and now it's Noodles and Company, but it used to be this giant bar. And
I didn't even know that wasn't. I always thought it was a noodle place.
no, it was a I forget the name of what it was whenever I first moved there, and then it got bought out and turned into the 797 Lounge, where they started to have bands and like they wanted to promote original music a lot, and they booked Punchline, and we were opening for Punchline. Like we were the first band, and then our buddies lose the name, and then Punchline was playing. So it's a packed house, and we get up and we start playing our songs. And I don't know if you've ever seen us in the old days. We started out with this song, Lars, about Lars Fredriksson. And we were just like, bam, 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 we're going crazy. This isn't a rowdy story, so
It's all right. It's
I'm
all
ruining
right.
the question.
No, it's all good. I want to hear Lars now. Next time you guys play, though.
Oh, we haven't played that. That was like when we
I don't think
first
I've ever
started the
heard
band. Lars was we always opened with Lars and Mirror, and Lars is just and we're jumping around like idiots and having fun. And there's a room full of kids, and we get done with our first two songs. Which we always hit fast. We're like, yeah, get in there, be pumped up, be ready to go, and we're like, yeah, how are you guys doing? And we get a sea of kids looking at us like this. No clapping, no interaction whatsoever. They're just staring at us like we all had two heads. So I'm just like, okay, well, maybe they're not used to this. And we keep playing songs, and every couple songs you stop and chit chat a little bit. I'm starting to get angry because they're not doing anything. They're not clapping. They're not booing. They're just standing there, and I don't do well with that. So I start heckling them, robot kids, and I'm like, "You all suck. You're all terrible. I hate all of you." Except for there was a couple to my right, and it was actually Chuck and Veronica. I found out later on, who put shows on here in State College, and it's like, "You all suck except for those two." And I was, when we got done, you know, there was a, and so we got off stage, and we thought, man, maybe it's just us. Maybe it's just because of us. And no, Lose the Name went up, and same thing happened to them. And then Punchline, the band that they paid $11-12 to see, they got on stage, and you thought, okay, now they're going to go crazy for Punchline. Nope. Punchline was giving it their all, and these kids were just staring at them like...
Did Punchline get mad?
Yeah, they heckled them a little bit, too. And they deserved it.
So did you ever find out why they were like that?
I just think they were young kids who didn't know what to do. But they're like, we played with Off Their Heads, and I remember that too, and they were fun.
Oh, I bet, man, that's awesome. All right, second question: which member of the Whatleys could take gold in Beer Fest?
Take gold in Beer Fest?
Yeah. Like I'm talking Broken Lizard Beer Fest. Des Boot.
In my prime, it would have been me, but I think Eddie now, because Eddie's.
He could take the boot down.
Yeah, well, he would do the best out of all of us. I don't know if we'd necessarily win Beer Fest, but he would do the best out of all of us.
I know I wouldn't last anymore when I was 17, but
yeah,
I just can't handle him like I used to.
A few years ago, I could have handled myself pretty well, but since I've turned 30, my drinking skills have gone way down.
Seems like that happens to your body chemistry or something. Once you turn 30, like as soon as the clock hits 30, like you're just...
Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, I used to drink like 4 days straight and not have a hangover and be able to go to work the next day and, haha, look at me. And now it's just, I drink for an hour and I'm done for 4 days.
It's like, I remember when like my 16th birthday, I woke up with vomit on, and I woke up in nothing but a pair of boxers and Ugg boots that weren't mine, and they didn't fit me. I don't know how I got them on my feet, and I had vomit all over me. I had a vomit sweater on.
Oh.
But then when I turned 30, I woke up with a receding hairline and 30 more pounds of pork belly.
See, I got the receding hairline at 24, and then the belly came a couple years later.
I'm proud of mine though.
Yeah, I'm working on getting it down a little bit because it's starting to get out of hand, but that's age, you know.
Yeah, getting old.
Gotta work.
So what's your on-stage setup look like, your current one? Amps, guitars, what's your...
It depends on the venue. Usually I just take, I have a PV Bandit 112 that I usually just take because it's an amp that doesn't need a whole lot of setup with it. It's just plug it in, turn it on, crank it up to where you need it to be. For the longest time I had a 5150 head and cabinet that I used, and just as I've gotten older, it's just like I can't take a whole 4x12 and an amp head everywhere. I just usually take a 1x12 combo now.
Cool. Now you're a big collector of the Hagstrom guitars. Am
Yes.
I saying it right?
Hagstrom.
Hagstrom
Yes.
guitars. Okay. What makes them your favorite guitar to play?
I
haven't heard of Hagstrom before. You told me about them, and when I see you play them, they sound really great on stage. Same thing with the PV amps you play. They're the most underrated amp ever.
Yeah, they get a lot of flack because there's really, really good PV amps. Like the ones in the 80s were all awesome, and then there's ones that aren't that good. Like PV had a line called the Windsor amp that they were supposed to be kind of a rip-off, not a rip-off, but a takeoff of Marshall, early Marshall amps. They didn't sound anything like it. They just weren't very good. The right PV amp you can find, it'll sound better than anything you've ever heard. Like my VTM over there, I'm pointing off camera. My VTM I got at an auction for $100, and it is one of the best sounding amps you could ever play. Like everybody who's ever played through it is like, this is the best amp. I want to buy it from you.
It does sound pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You let me use it in practice sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway, with the Hagstrom, what got you into those?
I was visiting. I used to work for an IT company where I'd have to travel all over the land, and I stopped in Spots Music in Du Bois, Pennsylvania, and I was just killing time, and I was just playing guitars, and I picked up this Hagstrom Ultra Suite, which is just it's kind of like a Les Paul body shape, but it's thinner and kind of smaller and real like simple electronics. And I started playing it, and it had the best neck that I've ever played up to that point. Like, it was extremely playable. I loved it. It was light. It sounded great. Like, I fell in love with that guitar, and the next weekend, me and Hero from the Whatleys packed up in my car, I had a guitar that I didn't play, and I had some other stuff. I took it there and traded and got the Hagstrom Ultra Suite. Since then, I've picked up a Hagstrom regular suite, and
Isn't that one from like 72 or
yes,
something?
this. Oh, come on now. This 73 Hagstrom LP that Eddie actually won at an auction, and I traded my Gibson Les Paul for. So
That is a sexy guitar.
yeah, it is.
Did you name it?
No, not yet.
Man, gotta baptize it and name it.
I'm afraid that if I name it, something bad will happen to it.
Gotta baptize it in goat blood and name it.
Yes, Tor Dark Lord, bless it. Ah!
Would you rather eat an uncooked Hot Pocket or drink a 6-ounce skunked Coors Light?
I've drank a 6-ounce skunk Coors Light, and I would rather have the Hot Pocket.
Not only are you a musician, but you're taking a swing at stand-up comedy. What is the biggest difference between playing music and doing comedy on stage?
I guess kind of getting a crowd and energy behind you. Like, it's kind of... I feel like it's easier for me with music, because if I look like I'm having fun, even if I'm screwing the song up in the beginning, like, as long as I'm having fun, the crowd kind of sees that I'm having fun, and they jump in and like, hey, we're having fun too. With comedy, it's, if you can't get the crowd on your side, it's a hard way to go.
Crickets are like scary.
Crickets are kind of scary, but and I've just started it, so I'm learning what not to do and what to do, and I've gotten the open mics I go to, people give me really good advice. And,
Do you got some of your stuff online right now that people can check out?
Not really, because they're still new, so I'm kind of, as I'm retiring them, I'll put them up, but right now I don't have a whole lot. I have a couple videos here and there.
And I just found out you are playing, you're doing a 15-minute comedy set at McGarvey's Sunday, December 11th.
Yes.
And who's the main act in that?
Joe Zimmerman.
Joe Zimmerman? All right, cool.
Yeah, he's on Comedy Central. He's funny. I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous, but it's going to be a good time. Eddie from the Whatleys is emceeing.
That's awesome.
There's another guy on the show, and I can't remember his name offhand. It's, I think, George something. But yeah, it's going to be a really good time. I'm really excited for McGarvey's to start doing comedy shows like that.
Let's check that out, people. You're also a big gamer.
Yeah.
What is the most overrated and underrated video games ever made?
Overrated, underrated. That's a tough one. I'm going to piss off nerds. Overrated, I'm going to say any MMORPG like World of Warcraft.
I thought you were going to say Zelda. I don't know why. But
No,
I thought you were gonna
I
say
love Zelda.
I love Zelda too.
I love Zelda. I would say that whole genre, that whole MMO genre, just, you know, it never ends. It's just quest after quest after quest after quest. So that's how I feel is overrated. Underrated, I'm going to go real old school and say River City Ransom for Nintendo.
I've never heard of that game before.
Oh, it's like the original beat 'em up. You just walk around in the streets and boom, boom, boom. And it's not anything like overly complicated, but it is fun. And that's really, when I play games, that's really what I'm in there for.
I used to play this game on Super Nintendo called Super Ghosts and Ghouls.
Oh god.
You played that?
Yes.
I love that game.
It's such, I do too. It's
kind of easy,
game.
but it.
Oh really?
Well, I think I was playing it on easy, but yeah, I was also like 9 or 10. So, what are your future plans with the Whatleys and your stand-up comedy career? Like, what do you got going on in the next couple months with those? The Whatleys did just come out with an album called American Party that you can purchase on iTunes or on their Bandcamp.
Yep, listen to it on Spotify. loving that album. It's like the culmination of years and years of stuff coming together, and just Rick Golden, who recorded it and engineered it, just made it great, and like it was, everything was perfect with that album.
And it even charted. It charted on iTunes, which was pretty cool. I still think it's still on the charts, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I think the highest it went was like 40 on the alternative charts.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 60 something.
I think it went. Yeah, I think it went up to like 40, 42, something like that. And,
you hear that, Mom? You hear that? Wait, you always supported me. You hear that? Every ex-girlfriend I've ever had.
There you go. I went through that too.
Well, yeah. So I mean, we're taking a little time off for the Whatleys just because Jim is having a baby. He doesn't look pregnant, but his, yeah. So he's having a baby in January, so we're kind of taking time off till after that to.
So you're gonna concentrate on your comedy some more and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep chugging along, doing open mics, and December 11th.
Anyway, nice interviewing you and playing music with you, and
Indeed,
I
sir.
always like seeing the Whatleys. Check out the Whatleys when they're around the area.
Yeah.
They played with a lot of bands signed to Epitaph.
Yes, we did.
And check out TJ
FRECH.
Oh my God! Every time, man. I'm never gonna learn it.
TJ FRECH.
It's spelled like funny, you know.
It's spelled FRECH.
Spelled exotic.
Yeah, it's my ancestors. I tell you, they got to Ellis Island. They're like, so your last name's Freck, right? Like, yeah. Well, you're spelling it wrong. Like, no, we're not.
It'd be cool if it was Frack.
It would be cool. Like, TJ Frack.
Frackin'.
Frack over here.
All right. Anyway, hopefully we'll see more of you in the comedy in the near future as well. Maybe the next Louis C.K.
I already got like the red face.
You kind of look like a younger Louis C.K. man.
I've always gotten the love child of Joss Whedon and Louis C.K. So
there you go. All right, we're out.